Jen Lehman asks, out of the actors you worked with in Band of Brothers, who do you think you became closest to, and do you still keep in touch with? And then she goes on to add, what's your favorite episode, scene, and why?
So as far as who I became close with, like I said, there's people that I see kind of on a monthly basis. Sometimes I'll see them 10 times a month. Sometimes I'll see them twice. I saw Rick Gomez yesterday, who plays Luz, and I see Jimmy Mario all the time. I see Frank John Hughes all the time. I see Michael Cudlitz all the time. Who else have we got in our little, Shifty Powers I speak to here and there, Peter Youngblood Hills. I just saw Popeye Wynn. He was over from the UK. I just saw him very briefly. Who else? I don't know. It will come to me.
I've also heard that you guys get together every year for a Band of Brothers barbecue. Yeah,
which everybody else in the world thinks is ridiculous, but we look forward to it, man. It's one of those. This is all right. Time to sap up. It's one of those situations where, and Frank actually said this to me, which I think rings so true, where we can all go to this barbecue once a year. And it's the one place where we know absolutely everything about the majority of the people there. I mean, occasionally there's a couple of cast members who we don't see very often, and they come in, and we don't really know them so much anymore. So we've got to find out a little bit about them. But the majority of us, we know everything about each other, good and bad, and we kind of embrace it, accept it, and love it. And so it's like one of those places where you just go with your girlfriend or your wife, or and you just sit there the entire day, and it's one of the most comfortable, enjoyable experiences of the year. Eventually we end up getting pretty sauced, and we eat good food and drink good beer, and have a laugh. But it's not like, because we do see each other relatively often now, it's not like a huge, oh my God, big reunion time. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, we're going to go to Mike's, and we're going to have a barbecue, and we're going to get drunk, and we'll make fun of a few people and have a few laughs.
What do you guys eat at the barbecue?
Whatever Bull decides to throw on the barbecue. He won't let anyone near the barbecue.
Really? So Cudlitz is in charge of the barbecue?
Very, very territorial. It was almost like it was bartending. It was like it was behind the barbecue bar. It was weird. And I would go and kind of stand there, because I knew it would get under his skin. And it did. And, he'd be like, this is my space. He was like a woman in the kitchen. It was crazy.
Well, and we're looking forward to talking to Michael.
You come on. Of course you will.
Well, and that's what we're looking forward to. I really am looking forward to continuing with my association with Ross Owen, and in conjunction with everything that he's doing on the blog about Band of Brothers, about what you've been doing since then. Because as we all know, Spielberg and Hanks basically tried to get semi-unknown players to play these parts to create this this mindset that these were kids next door that have become heroes that most people have either only remember when it's history sessions or have forgotten completely, and have told their stories in such an amazing way.
Yeah. And that's such a winning combination, because you have actors that are hungry, that are seasoned well enough to be professional, but are completely unaffected. They don't have that Hollywood mentality. It's like they want to do it to do it true.
Yeah, and I think that was a big part of that casting process, because even if anybody did have that Hollywood thing, there's no way they could ever show it on our set. It's just everybody popped in, everybody was there to do the job, everybody was there to do our men, proud, and we were aware of it from right at the beginning, what important stories we had in our hands and how we had to kind of convey that, and there was no room for any ego or crazy actor bullshit, as we like to call it sometimes, So yeah, it worked in their favor and in ours. It was a very smart move by the producers.
Well, let me ask you this then: did you make sure that you made fun of Schwimmer's hair all the time then?
You know what? Schwimmer, what was good about Schwimmer, and he played it well. Listen to me, Schwimmer. Yeah, whatever. Schwimmer. At boot camp, they definitely try to give us a divide from David, which was good. I won't go into details, but they definitely pulled a few little tricks that would make us go, really? Why are we kind of sat in the mud right now and he's not? What's the deal there? And it was all about us turning on the character,
In his role as a character, you could just feel the animosity between the other characters before he even got put in his place. And you're like, oh my God, what is he doing? Why is he such a jackass? And I can see where the producers would want to exclude him from the get-go to give you guys the animosity that was for real, as opposed to trying to force that into your acting.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine anybody else playing his role either, because he plays that guy that you just look at and go, why are you trying so hard to be a dick? And then it turns out that he's not. He's just trying to do his best, and he really doesn't understand that he's being a dick, and it's like, oh, well, sorry.
The thing that they used to say about Sobel was, Sobel was a huge part in creating Easy Company. If he wasn't that way, then, there was an argument that Easy Company wouldn't have become the stronghold and the bandage unit that they were to become, and so a lot of people actually say it's thanks to Sobel for that.
Yeah, he could easily be looked at as a linchpin that solidified the Easy Company as a company, because he was the guy that everyone banded around to hate, as opposed to the weakest link in the company. They all said, dude, the weakest link is our commander.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct, and there's a lot of truth to what you just said. I mean, that's amazing. Let me slide down here a little bit. Jillian Schofstall.
We're too busy geeking out and asking our own questions.
I know.
We're totally
ignoring all the fans, and we're like, oh my God, I'm totally excited here. Jillian Schofstall asked, did you group of actors feel like a band of brothers by the end? Did you feel a special bond, perhaps, from portraying these heroes?
Oh, without a doubt. And in fact, it was way before that. Again, I keep talking about how smart the producers were. And, that's just true. One of the greatest things they did was throw us all in a boot camp together. And that boot camp was, a tremendous experience. And we would all do it again tomorrow. But, it was tough. And, some guys really found it tough. Others found it, just relatively tough. Just none of it was easy going. You know what I mean? Mentally, physically, it was all a fight. And that bonded us all.
Well, since you brought up the boot camp, how did you fare with the mental and physical parts of the 3-week boot camp that you guys went through?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, back in those days, 10 years ago, so I was 23, 24, and I was like a heavy smoker back then. I used to joke, the only running I would do is to go in a shop for a pack of cigarettes. And so running wasn't my forte at all, but I decided very early on, this ain't the place to kind of, whinge and moan. You just suck it up and you do it. And, I think most of the guys amaze themselves with the endurance and the mental, get rid of the mental blocks. Because, the mental walls were probably tougher than the physical walls.
Well, Jimmy boasted as being the fastest thing on 2 feet when it came to the obstacle course, because
he's just standing out of windows with TVs on his back. Of course he's the fastest. Oh, Jimmy, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's great.
Jimmy is like my him and Rick are my go-to East Coast boys. We have a lot of similarities, the three of us, and so all we do is rib each other and bust each other's balls. So yes, he was super fast on the course.